Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Eric Rosen here to talk to you today about community. Talk about the importance of community and to talk about the importance of breaking away from relationships that could actually be vibrationally holding us back from that community. The truth is that with this Venus retrograde in Capricorn, we've all had something that feels like it's just left us feeling dry. Like we got licked by a scary forest animal with fucking spikes on its tongue and it hurts. It doesn't feel good. But that's Capricorn. It can be harsh. It can be tough. But it helps us grow up and it helps us get on the path of where we need to be, where we need to go to actually fulfill a destiny. And it's a spiritual destiny with Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces. I always get the most excited for this type of astrology when there's a ton of Capricorn and Pisces. Those energies get along really well. You got the spiritual essence of bringing God, the angelic realms into it, and then you've got the high mountaintop of Capricorn. It's like bring heaven on earth, baby, But it's like we've also got Saturn in Aquarius and Mercury that's about to go retrograde there. So this is looking at tribe. This is looking at societal functions and where are we feeling restricted? Where have we been feeling choked off in our communication and mentally from connecting with other people, especially just, with all the astrology and how it showed up in the world of feeling disconnected from people because of COVID and disagreeing about political agendas and shots and all these different things. I think this is where we get to kind of come back to ourselves, where we get to come back to like the true core essence of humanitarian values, but it starts with like honoring and loving ourselves, because I've seen this in my life over and over again. It's like if I, bleed my cup dry and try to give too much, number one, it's gonna run out because I'm not putting my sovereignty, my love of myself first and not a relationship first or a codependent situation. But number two, it's never really authentically giving anyway. Because the only way that we can like really truly give unconditionally and then thus receive unconditionally back from it tenfold, receive God's gifts this year with Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces, is to feel abundant. And the only real true abundance there is unconditional love that we have for ourselves. And this is something I have to work on daily, and I'll be honest, I have to work on daily letting go of the relationship that that I wasn't ready to let go of. I think that's the thing. I don't think any of us were ready to let go of it. It's like in Capricorn, it feels like, wait, this was supposed to go the distance. This was supposed to go the long term. This was a part of my destiny. And then when it gets ripped away, it can feel like the chalice of our emotional fulfillment is completely broken. But we have to be honest with Capricorn. We can't tell ourselves lies in Pisces about the past or how good it was. We have to see that there were mistakes, that there was guilt, there was shame, there were lessons. And we can't get bogged down by those things, and we can't get bogged down by them just because we're waiting for seeing what comes next or wanting to know a few steps ahead of what's going on with money. Is this relationship coming back? Because those pieces got removed so that we can truly fill ourselves up with tribe. When we're able to align in this vibration and finally start to get with the people that we're meant to be with, you can absolutely 100% trust with certainty, trusting in the divine, that if that relationship that's not there or that money situation or whatever it is, if it's meant to be in the vibration, it'll either come in to this tribe situation or something better will come in. Now, the importance of tribe, it's everything the next year and a half. It's people, it's serving other people, it's being humble, it's being stable in the sovereignty of your spiritual skill set that you cannot put on a resume and to serve, guide, demonstrate to others how to like lead them out of the darkness. It's time. This is the time like for like us collectively, like that we can step out of the darkness. A lot of the work is just being done for us. That's the beautiful part. All we have to do is open up to receiving this light and receiving this energy. And then we get to have fun and positivity and love of doing it with other people and doing it in our own skill set that feels pleasurable in the way that we serve others, in the way that we openly receive and just like feel good about ourselves and feel good about this earth's existence. I mean, that's Taurus energy. So you got Taurus, Capricorn, Pisces. I'm not even going deep into the technicalities of the transits because I know not everybody wants that. But, you know, like this is it. This is the time. And it's so beautiful, you know, if there was ever a time to like let go, this is it. Imagine that we've been all tangled in our own parachute. You know, we jumped out of the plane. We jumped out of the plane on January 12th of 2020 when Saturn and Pluto met up. It's the whole thing that triggered this tower moment falling in the world and the COVID and just everything that we're seeing of like the reveal of the deception. It's the tower falling. It's, you know, governments going to start fighting with each other. It's dark entities that are going to start fighting with each other. We jumped out, and at first it probably felt really exhilarating, but then maybe a few seconds in we realized like, man, this free falling shit's real. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to survive? Can I really trust? As I get myself a smoothie mustache, I think that, yeah, you know, but when those fears come up, we clean it off and we keep going. We get tangled in the parachute. Feels like we're free falling without style. Maybe we don't feel like we've had the right people to help us out, or we've been trying to find something bigger. And it's like, this is it. The veil is like this thin, like it's right there. And it comes in when you vibrate at that level. So a lot of this is integrating the shadow and the light and not having that guilt and shame and taking responsibility for your actions, your behaviors, your thoughts, like all of it. This is like radical responsibility of stepping into your king energy or your queen energy and just letting God flow through you. This is going to be the thing that leads us forward. It's not going to be as much as you, for some people it might be like the fixes in the 3D, but they may be band-aids, like, because they're still going to be from a place of fear. It's still going to be trying to fix things in the same realm, the same dimension and stratosphere of like where the issues were created. So this is about us now working from the top down with God and these higher dimensions. And I don't even usually talk about higher dimensions. I didn't believe in twin flames, or like, it's like skepticism, like show me, like let me experience it first, especially like with new age spirituality, like before I can start talking about it. But this is it. It's top down work. And you lose the element of control, but that's an illusion more than it ever has been anyway, that we're in control. And the fact is I've been getting reports from multiple different credible sources that this veil is going to be even thinner than ever this weekend, and there's a big reveal coming. And I am so stoked for it because, one, I feel like I'm not going to have to be so perseverant in the dark because I sense it everywhere. And I have to stay very grounded in my body to make sure that it doesn't enter into my mind and start convincing me of things that are not real, because there's a lot of deception going on. You know, I see things and I channel and I get things, like far out things, but at the same time, like the negative stuff can come in too. So I have to be very poetic about like what I'm letting in and have those strong boundaries. So I think this is where we all just like kind of pull our bootstraps up, pull our suspenders up, fix your dress if you're a lady, whatever it is, and we go into it. You know, because I'll be honest, this is not the time to feel like a victim. This is a time to stay calm. Uranus and Taurus, and with the North Node coming there, is your stability is in your central nervous system. connected to light, connected to God, connected to knowing your worth, your value, having the self-esteem to know that even on days where it feels like your light is dimmed or you're not shining as much as you want or the message doesn't look the way that you want it to, you show up in that vibration anyway. You fall out of that vibration, non-fucking judgment. Non-judgment, compassion, you go right back to that center point of that balance between the light, the shadow, the masculine, the feminine. But if we keep resisting one or the other, we're going to be on this like teeter-totter, this seesaw. And that's what Uranus is trying to show us, is like the curveballs come all the time. Sometimes it feels like a pitching machine throwing a bunch of baseballs at you all at once. And it's like, well, which one of these am I supposed to hit? And typically it's the one that probably looks different in color and is a little bit brighter that is actually in your wheelhouse to go for, which is connected to your skill set. You just know it. You just know that it's your thing. Instead of trying to swing at things outside your strike zone and go after all these things, South Node's ending in Sagittarius. And, you know, with Mercury retrograde, yeah, we got to proceed cautiously. That's just the usual communication stuff, but it doesn't mean we got to stop the show or, you know, feel bad about our self-worth because we've put things in slow motion on ourselves. It would be like watching a replay in slow motion, this whole 3-week Mercury retrograde of like nothing exciting if we slow down and stopped moving forward and making decisions just because it's a Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde. And yeah, with both of those, you might get weird stuff happening with an ex or a partnership, or all the exes come in, and we can all laugh at the goofiness of that. But I think ultimately, whatever spiritual tests that come in aren't even, I'm gonna be fucking real, they're not even, I don't even know if you call them tests anymore, because you're almost just like testing yourself by just like seeing how you can play in this reality with what you're attracting. Because God wants to drop those miracles in. You know, he wants to give you a second chance after whatever shit show 2021 was, even though that's a perspective and a belief on how it looked. He's trying to drop in a new pinball, but, you know, you gotta pull back into your potential in order for that ball to drop in. You gotta be able to pull back on your potential to let it fly, so that that ball goes flying and starts zinging around and bouncing off people and lighting people up. You know, that's tribe. That's connecting. Tribe is seeing that there's multiple levels of tribe. I think sometimes people think that tribe is just like, this is my clique. Not really. That's more like Scorpio, 8th house energy. To me, tribe is like sacred geometry. It's webs. It's Charlotte's web of, you know, who's more towards the nucleus of your center. You know, like my son, he's my son, he's my family, but like he's part of my tribe, so he's right there towards that center point. People that I just saw at the grocery store, maybe they're 12 layers out or something because I don't know their names or whatever, but they're still part of the tribe. Even if it seems like they're on the other side of the fence or hanging out on a broken web where like I can't reach them, metaphorically speaking. But I've never felt so strongly, and yeah, I've got momentum behind me because I've been making these changes that we've all had to make in our personal life for the past year and a half, and felt like I was behind, but I was getting the lessons all along and seeing them and playing out. But then like when the shit hit the fan in my life and I felt like a fucking idiot, that I felt like I had all this work to do, but really it was like once I dropped the story of how much I had to do and dropped the guilt and shame and slowed down in my life, and started making those integrations and staying strong as I could, and really, again, just not have resistance and judgment when things, when I feel out of alignment or things feel out of whack, and staying humble, because I know that this power that's like flowing to me right now, this momentum, it's all God. It's all God. So he can take it away at any moment, just like Odin took away Thor's powers and took away his hammer in his movie. So I think the bottom line is this Mercury retrograde, this Venus retrograde, with all the planetary alignments as they are, the freedom comes from disconnecting from any relationship that feels like it's negative in vibration. And I don't care if it's a twin flame. I don't care if it's your own mother. I don't care if it's your daughter, your son, whatever. If you're paying attention, and I know this can be hard because if we're in toxic environments, it's so fucking hard to see who's on the wavelength for us to be on right now and who's not. So I would say get a lot of fresh air and get away from your usual environments to clear your headspace if you're not sure. But it's like, when you can disconnect away from these vibrations, it doesn't mean it's over forever. It just means that we're moving in clusters away from people in order to go where we need to go. And I've been saying this for years now, really since 2018, since Uranus has pretty much been in Taurus. And you know, we don't get to know with this style of Venus retrograde with Pluto and Capricorn. We don't get to know what's on the destiny path, what's really coming. I mean, there could be things that are going on positive in my life right now that might not be there in 2 to 3 months or whatever. You know, like we're still in a Saturn, Uranus challenge point, even though the most challenging part of it's over from 2021, but we're still in that energy. So it's like, there can still be delays, there can still be broken parts, there can still be stoppages and things that don't work out, but I think those lessons only come when you need the lesson at this point. If you're standing in integrity and you're committed to walking a path of your destiny, and I'm not talking about a job or a hobby, I'm like, what did you come here to do and how did you come here to serve? And to like express that in your fullest, even on the days where you feel tired, even if you've been doing this for 10 years, even if you just started doing it 2 to 3 days ago, even if you feel like you've done nothing. You start doing these things and you pick up the pace and the momentum, and then you'll start to feel the universe truly supporting you. The universe has our backs tenfold in a way that I don't know that I've ever seen, based on our willingness to go into the unknown, to rock that self-worth, to have that self-esteem, to let spirit flow through you, to put service and unconditional love first. That's my message to you all. I would say practical step number 1, love thyself. Self-acceptance. Number 2, get really clear on what those relationships are that need to be clipped out or pushed out or drilled out or whatever. And then number 3, it's just in that vibration of loving yourself and in that space that's been opened up, if there's a negative vibration that's been removed, and it's not about them being bad. I want to say that. Do not dishonor people. Do not fucking do that. But in that space, you can start to see where you had attachments that the reason it is negative is because it's an attachment. When you release the physical attachments, now you're able to start to ascend in this higher vibration that doesn't bring things in to fill its void. It attracts in the things that it needs. Just because it's vibrating so high, you get everything you need to thrive, survive, thrive. Wherever you're at, it will build. The momentum will build. And this is where it gets fun, because this isn't about reaching for the sky and running out of fuel in your jetpack on the way up. This is about the sustainable growth, the positivity, the appreciation and pleasure for life the sensual feminine experience of feeling good about what you're doing every day, who you're connecting with, and not waiting to get to a goal in order to feel good, because that's an illusion. I love you all. Take care.